All right, let's try something. When I say World War II tank, what's the first name that pops into your head? For a lot of you, I'm betting it's the German Tiger. I mean, this thing was a legend, right? An absolute icon of raw power, the most feared weapon on the battlefield. But, and this is a big but, how much of that legend is actually true? That's what we're here to find out.
You know, the historian John Keegan really hit the nail on the head. He said the Tiger wasn't just another tank. To the German commanders, it was something qualitatively different. It was this special weapon, held back for only the most critical missions. We're not just talking about a piece of equipment here. This thing was a symbol of German engineering, of pure military might.
Okay, but that's the legend, right? That's the myth. And today, we're going to peel back those layers. Was the Tiger really the unstoppable titan everyone remembers? Or is there a more complicated and, honestly, a way more interesting story hiding in the numbers? Let's dig in.
So, to really get the Tiger, you've got to understand the idea behind it. See, this wasn't just about building a bigger, meaner tank. No. The Tiger was the star player in this super ambitious game plan. A plan designed to do one thing: smash the enemy and win the war in one decisive blow.
And they even had a special word for it, a very German word, Durchbruchswagen. Literally, the breakthrough tank. Its entire purpose wasn't just to fight other tanks. Its job was to be the armored fist that could just shatter an enemy's defensive line, punching a massive hole for everyone else to pour right through.
Yeah, this whole vision, it really came from Heinz Guderian, basically the guy who wrote the book on German tank warfare. He saw battle playing out in waves, and the Tiger, it was meant to be that first, crushing wave. The sledgehammer that kicks the door off its hinges, letting all the faster, lighter tanks swarm in and just create absolute chaos deep behind enemy lines.
I mean, it's a brilliant, terrifying theory, right? Sounds unstoppable on paper. But here's the thing. A theory is only as good as the machine you build for it. And when we get up close and personal with the Tiger tank itself, well, that's when the cracks in this supposed masterpiece start to show. Just look at that number. Almost 70,000 kilograms. To put that in perspective, that's like 10 full-grown elephants. 10! Now, sure, all that weight gave it insane armor protection, but it came at a staggering cost. A cost that, as we'll see, affected literally everything about how this tank could be used.
And that incredible weight created a huge problem. This thing was thirsty. A Tiger II drank 860 liters of fuel to go a measly 120 kilometers cross-country. Now get this, its main opponent, the Soviet T-34, it could go almost 4 times farther on nearly half the fuel. In a war that's all about logistics, the Tiger was an absolute nightmare.
And it wasn't just the fuel. Oh no. The Tiger was a diva. It needed constant maintenance, always breaking down. And the worst part? If it got stuck or broke down in the field, you couldn't just hook it up to a tow truck. It took 2 of Germany's biggest half-tracks, or even worse, another Tiger, just to drag it out. Now just imagine trying to pull that off while you're getting shot at. It was practically impossible. So every time a Tiger broke down, you weren't just losing one tank. You were risking 2, maybe 3 of your most precious assets.
Okay, so what did all these problems mean on the actual battlefield? Well, as the war started to turn against Germany, the whole strategic picture changed. And that grand idea of the Tiger being a breakthrough sledgehammer, it pretty much went right out the window. Instead, this incredible machine was forced into a role it was never, ever designed for.
It's a total reversal of what it was supposed to do. The sledgehammer, the weapon designed to smash holes in the enemy line, became a fire plug, desperately trying to plug holes in their own.
And you can just hear the frustration from the guys on the ground. This is a quote from a Tiger battalion commander. He complained they were being used as mobile bunkers. Can you believe that? His elite offensive weapon reduced to a defensive pillbox. Instead of leading the charge, they were just getting thrown from one crisis to the next, just trying to stop the bleeding.
So, remember Guderian's whole idea? Concentrate your best weapons for one massive punch? Yeah, that was completely gone. The German high command was so desperate they had to split up these precious Tiger battalions, sending a handful here, a couple there, just putting out fires all along this enormous, crumbling front.
So what we've got here is this weapon that's absolutely brilliant on paper, but a logistical nightmare in reality. And it's being used in a way it was never intended. So, how did it actually perform? Well, this is where the numbers get really interesting and reveal a pretty stunning paradox.
Okay, let's be clear. In a straight-up, tank-on-tank fight, the Tiger was an absolute monster. For every single Tiger lost in direct combat, they knocked out more than 12 enemy tanks. I mean, that's an insane ratio.
And even if you count tigers lost for any reason, it's still over 5-1. So on a tactical level, there is zero doubt the tiger was a terrifyingly good killing machine.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If this thing was so dominant in a fight, so hard to kill, what was actually taking them out? What was the tiger's biggest enemy? The answer to this is probably the single most important part of this whole story.
And here it is. This chart right here is the whole paradox. Just look at this. Only 45% of all tigers lost were actually knocked out by the enemy. So, where did the rest go? Well, an absolutely staggering 41% were destroyed by their own crews. Let that sink in. They broke down, they ran out of gas, they got stuck in the mud, and because they were impossible to recover, the crews just had to blow them up themselves so the enemy couldn't get them. The tiger's greatest enemy wasn't a Sherman or a T-34. It was itself.
So here's the bottom line. The tiger was a tactical terror. You absolutely did not want to see one of these things rolling towards you. But on the bigger operational picture, it was a liability. It was just too heavy, way too complicated, and far too unreliable for the kind of long, grinding war Germany found itself fighting.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. The story of the tiger proves that a powerful weapon isn't always an effective one. It was, without a doubt, a tactical terror. But when you think about the insane amount of resources it soaked up and how most of them ended up, you have to ask, was the tiger actually a strategic mistake? And that right there is the true paradox of this legendary machine.